What's up, team? It's Tomy here with Everyday Finance, and today I'm going to be talking about credit versus debit cards, okay? And which one I think that you should choose. Now, I've primarily been focused on talking about credit on this channel, so you probably have an idea which way I'm leaning. But the information that I'm going to be talking about on this video, I think will be enough to persuade you to lean towards the same direction that I'm heading in if you're not already. Now, to start off, I did want to kind of read a quick study here that I actually found from the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston, and I'll link to the article down below so you can actually read the entire study if you'd like to yourself. Now, what they did mention was that on average, each cash-using household pays $149 to card-using households, and each card-using household receives $1,133 from cash users every year. Now, the idea is this: banks are charging bank interchange fees to the merchant. So whenever you're going into a store and whether it's a store online or it's a store in person and you're going and you're paying with your card, that company that you are, giving your card information to has to pay a fee to be able to process your payment or be able to take the payment out of your card. Now, with debit cards, it's not extremely low, but it's a lot lower than it is for credit cards. Now, credit cards, it's usually around 1.8%. But it can be as high as 3.5%, especially for Amex cards. American Express cards are known to be a lot higher. Now, the reason why the article was saying that if cash using households are actually losing money is because a company doesn't care whether you're paying with cash or card. For them, it's easier to just raise their price for everybody. So instead of them paying that interchange fee, they're going to pass it on to the consumer. And that's kind of what the study went into, was how much money was it costing families in the end, right? Families that were actually paying in cash. And the way that, credit card users are actually gaining the money back is they're able to get rewards points, right? You get cash back on a card if you're using it. You get bonus points whenever you're opening up a card, right? Sign up bonus points or sign up bonuses. You get, you hear about people getting flights, getting free hotels, things like that, just from reward points that they get that they end up spending, right? That's kind of what the article's talking about is, on average, credit card users are able to get roughly $1,100. And obviously that's not spread evenly. It's not like everyone's just getting $1,100, but you're going to see people on the extreme sides of that scale, right? Now, with me personally, I always pay credit card. And for me, really, I think the key is that I always make sure that whenever I'm using my credit card to pay for something, that I already have the cash in my bank account to really pay it. I could pay with cash if I wanted to. I choose to use a credit card for a myriad of reasons, which I'm going to touch on some of them here. But I always make sure that if I'm buying something, I have the money for it, right? If I was ever in a situation, especially in the past, where I didn't have the money to afford it, let's say I wanted to buy like a big screen TV or something, but I didn't have the money for it, then I wouldn't use my credit card, right? Just because I had access to that level of credit doesn't mean I would use that unless I could pay it off immediately. And even nowadays, there's times where I'm paying off my credit card like multiple times a month, right? It might even be 5-10 times a month that I'm paying off my credit card. It's just a kind of a habit that I have where whenever I run expenses through that card after a couple of days, I just look and see what my balance is and I just pay it off. So why do I prefer spending on a credit card? Probably the biggest thing for me that kind of started it was having another layer of protection. I have this thing where anytime I want to pay for something, right? Let's say I'm at a restaurant and I need to hand my card to somebody, it's not me swiping, then hands down, I will never use a debit card because it's just me. You call it paranoia, you can call it whatever you want, but I'm always careful to make sure that when I hand someone my card, that you don't really know what could happen, right? In theory, let's say it was like a malicious waiter. I'm not saying all waiters are malicious, but I'm saying let's say, for example, a waiter wanted to take your card. Whenever you gave it to them to pay your bill, they took your card and took a picture of your card, right? And then they waited a couple months and then they started trying to buy things online, right? That's a scenario that could possibly happen, right? Well, I'm not saying it's happening all the time, but it's definitely something that could happen. And that's kind of the way I look at it is anytime I'm handing somebody my card, I always make sure it's a credit card because I know I now have a layer of protection where I know credit card companies, if I see an unauthorized transaction, I can just let them know. They'll mark it as fraud and then they'll issue me out new cards. Whereas if it's a situation where it's my own money, now it's more of a headache, right? Now I got to basically go through that process, but now I have to convince the banks to give me that money back. See, that's kind of where I prefer to use the credit cards. because it's a lot safer in that situation. And I think you can kind of look at it as like, what's a better situation to be in, right? Would you rather lose your own money or lose the bank's money? Well, the bank's gonna make you back whole if they know that there's a transaction on your credit card that's not yours. With your debit card, it can get a little rockier. Nowadays, the protections are a lot better with debit cards, but nonetheless, I think it's better safe than sorry. Now, other benefits are gonna be, taking advantage of sign-up bonuses. I think that's huge. It's kind of what I touched on earlier. Is like if you can get a credit card and you just run expenses that you are already gonna do anyways on your debit card, you run it through your credit card, and you're able to get a sign-up bonus for that. That could eventually lead to maybe you getting a free flight somewhere, right? Or it paying for a good chunk of your vacation for that year, right? That's kind of the way I look at it. Is it's expenses you are already going to make, or it's purchases you are already going to make. Why not make it on a credit card where you have more benefits than you do if you do it on a debit card? Okay, so that's kind of how I look at it in that aspect. Again, just kind of like sign-up bonuses, reward points. You can check out, I've shot other credit card videos talking about my process and what I'm planning on doing as well. And in those videos, you can kind of see how I intend on using the points that I'm going to be getting, right? The points that I'm earning and things like that. Now, on top of that, it's going to be things like consumer protections. I'll give you an example with I recently got the Chase Sapphire Preferred card, and I'll link to a video down below where I shot and I talked about it. But the Chase Sapphire Preferred card has a few different protections, and these are just a couple that I'm naming. I know there's more protections available, so if those of you guys who have the card, then I'm sure you know. You can have, for example, rental car insurance. You're going to be covered up to the cash value of the car. So anytime if I need to get rent a car, then I know I'm going to run it through my actual credit card, because I can just deny or reject the the insurance that they offer you whenever you're actually at the car rental place, and I can just pick up the one that I have on my own, or the one that I get through my credit card. And then it's a easy win for me. I'm not paying any extra, but I know I'm covered in the case of an accident, things like that. Another thing is travel insurance. I've told you guys before that I'm starting to do a lot more of traveling, especially this year. I've been traveling more, doing more longer stays. So travel insurance was perfect for me. Up to $10,000 for canceled or interrupted trips. And this is on the Chase Sapphire Preferred that I just got. Also, there's baggage delay insurance, and I think there's another type of travel-ish insurance. On top of that, there's product warranties covered up to $500 for the first 4 months. So the first 4 months I buy a product, if it gets messed up or anything, and I've made the purchase through this card, then I can get reimbursed up to $500. So just little things like that, where it just makes it, there's a lot of great things that are coming out of you using a credit card instead of using a debit card. And for me, the benefits far outweigh the cost, or perceived or potential cost, I guess, right? Because you have to look at it as like, the one risk that you might have is, people who get in that situation where they use their credit card, and we've all been there, right? You use your credit card and you spend more than you have. And now you're in this vicious cycle where you're trying to pay off credit card debt that just keeps multiplying month after month, and you're just trying to find ways to get it down. That's kind of the aspect that I look at it. And for me, it's a hands down, like it's a no-brainer for me to just always stick with credit cards. I recommend you kind of look at it based off of your specific situation. I think for the majority of people, it's going to make more sense for you to go with a credit card instead of a debit card, especially when you look at all the benefits that you could possibly get. Alrighty, so that's going to be pretty much it for now, guys. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed this segment. Now, if you want to watch, or if you enjoyed this video, make sure that you hit the like button down below, so I know I'm heading on the right track. And also make sure you hit the subscribe button as well, so you don't miss any of the future videos that I'm going to be shooting. All right, so that's going to be it for this video, guys. I'll see you at the next one. Peace.